Hi everyone, and welcome to JelloCast. My name is TuttButt, and I am an animator and also artist, songwriter, etc. And I am here with DevBear as my co-host. Say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm the co-host, even though
And
it's on my channel.
yes, of course, because this was my idea.
Shut up.
And yeah, our podcast is basically just going to be us two talking about whatever's on our mind or whatever we have scheduled, and we will have guests appearing every now and then, such as your girlfriend Dev, and
Hey.
which yeah, and with every guest that we have, we will have a specific topic in store, and I think that would be pretty cool, don't you think, Dev?
I think it would be fantastic, yes.
Absolutely, because it's my idea. Anyhow,
Alright then, that's okay.
that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yes, fine, it's not even a deal, man. Like, whatever.
Of course.
Hmm.
Again, I'm the mastermind at this.
Obviously,
My-
yes. It's all your idea.
Of course.
Alright.
Now, go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Okay. Hi. I'm DevBear. I like to do drawings. I'm not very good at animated videos. I don't like animation as much, but I'm quite good at drawing, I'd like to think. Go look at my Twitter.
Yes,
It's
you
pretty
are.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you should definitely check out my channel and my Instagram and my everything because
Or
I am
don't.
desperate.
Or don't.
Yeah, don't. My art is trash compared to Dev's stuff.
I'm clearly the better artist, and please excuse this. Please excuse the sickness. My friend that I have, we go boxing, and he's very very hyped up. And whenever he hits me really hard, he gets real like, oh no, and he goes up and he gives me a hug. And last time he was sick, so he gave me a ton of hugs because he thought he hurt me. I let him. I let him think that because it's nice to get hugs.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
but
agree 100%.
because he was sick, I am now also sick, so excuse the sickness.
Yep. That's pretty dumb.
Yeah, man, it's not dumb play. I like boxing with my buddy.
No, I'm talking about your immune system.
Oh,
Anyways.
it works. It works. It works at about 60% efficiency, 95% of the time.
95% of the time.
Yeah, the other 5% is like 0.
Or are they like cancer cells or something?
What? What? How? Wait, where is the correlation there? How do you move between these things? Your immune system is now cancer, obviously.
Well, technically, I mean, like, cancer cells are just normal cells, but to the point where they have to, like, they can't stop, like, multiplying. So, I mean, that's what cancer is, my boy.
I mean, yeah, but that happens mostly from radiation, and so the cells aren't technically still yours. I mean, come on, man.
Listen, you can get cancer from about anything.
I don't think I can get cancer from dying.
Bet.
Yeah, that's right. Think of that for a bit. Put that on a plate and eat it.
You can get, like, cancer from Diet Coke. It's actually one of the leading causes.
Wait, that's one of the leading causes?
Yeah, Diet Coke.
How many leading causes are there for cancer, actually?
It's well, of course, radiation. I'm not sure how many there are, but there's definitely a lot.
I mean, I'm sure we could find a few
I mean,
causes of
water.
cancer on YouTube.
I'm pretty sure that water can give you cancer.
Okay, now hold on. I'm gonna sit here. I'm
No,
gonna
I'm pretty
take
sure.
this sip of my water.
It's like a really
Mm.
it's like a really low chance, but it can give you cancer.
Oh, come on, though. Water is not water. There's no way water can give you cancer. You gotta fact check me on that. There's no way.
Listen, even fucking air can give you cancer, dude. It's just
You're lying now.
science.
You're lying to me. I know this. The sun can when you go outside, but the air cannot. You lie. Bacon even can, but the air cannot. I'm not.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
that
going
water
this.
can, though. All right.
Alrighty though.
All right.
Good stuff.
So
What? What are you looking at?
today, I guess for our episode 0 or our introduction
We're-
to
this-
JelloCast.
This entire thing is, for this particular hour of our time, is mainly going to just be deciding whether or not it's worthwhile continuing this from how many people actually enjoyed listening to us talk your ears off.
Absolutely. And not only that, but we're going to be explaining more about ourselves and what we do and trying to figure out ourselves in this episode. Surely we'll...
Did you say trying to figure out ourselves?
Listen, we're going to look deep inside our soul and it's going to be spiritual.
Look,
alright?
look, buddy, I know you're having trouble with that stuff, but look, I am very confident in who I am as a person, alright? I'm just,
Alright, then who are you?
I'm better than you. That is all.
Oh my god.
Hey,
Oh my gosh. Alright.
the only time I can
So-
be confident.
Yeah, it's when I'm around.
Oh no, Rose makes me pretty confident too.
Aw,
For
that's really
for very different reasons though.
Oh my god.
You make me confident because I'm better than you. She makes me confident because she's wonderful. Damn.
Wow. That
I'm sorry. You know I don't mean that.
is... Sure.
Hey, come on
You
now.
know that this is some whole monetization sponsorship thing
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
that I don't get any money from.
This is all about me giving you the money that I don't have.
Absolutely.
That's what this is all about, really. We're not even really friends,
no,
honestly.
like, yeah, honestly, guys.
It's all about that cash
Wake
money.
up, America.
I'm not in America.
I know, but you know Fox News, where they're like,
Thanks,
hey,
Red Time.
wake up, America. Yeah.
Chips and dip.
Oh, hey. Chips and dip. Hell
Yeah, man. Chips and dip. What kind of chips you got? Okay, hold on. What's your favorite kind of chip?
Nacho cheese Doritos. Not gonna lie.
Man, that's
no,
edgy.
No, I take that back. Jalapeno kettle cooked chips. Those are like really
Sorry, calico?
good. No, jalapeno.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
all right. That's not what I meant, but sure. Calico's a brand of chip, I think. Is it? I don't know. I don't know chips, man. My favorite chip is
What the
chocolate bar.
What the fuck? I've never even heard of calico. Like, well, probably because you live in Australia.
To be
and I
fair,
live, like,
there's
on the
every
other
there's
side
every
of the
possibility
globe.
that calico is a chip brand that I have heard of, but I don't eat it. I basically eat. I like Red Rock. We have Red Rock Deli chips, and my favorite is definitely just like frick. It's a chili one. I don't remember names of chips. This isn't something that I put on my remember me list. Yeah, man, I remember
my
every
God.
single piece of chip flavor because I'm a piece of shit fat ass.
Alright. So, what we're going to do today, for right now, to continue on, I have 2 personality tests
Oh,
for us to
that's
do.
something.
And what we're going to do is we're going to read aloud the questions and say how we, relate to it. And this way we'll figure out more about ourselves and what we fall under, and we get to also explain how we are to our
I
audience.
feel like we should have done this beforehand.
Right.
Also,
All right.
what are Tostito?
So,
Toasty Tots?
it's called Tostitos, and it's an American brand, I assume.
Wait, is
because
the
you have trouble
second T
pronouncing it.
silent? Is that a silent second T?
I don't know, but like,
Or third or
Basically
fourth?
what
It's a fourth T.
Tostitos
There's so
are-
many T's in Tostitos.
oh, that's because it's spelled incorrectly, but there's only 3.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Toothbrush.
Yeah. But it's basically a corn chip, and it has like various
Wait,
shapes.
Are those
guess so,
corn
like-
chips that people put on their fingers and then eat them off their fingers?
Those are bugles.
What the what the heck? Bugles. We have one name for chips here, and it's chips, and that's all we have. It's chips
Yeah.
or it's corn chips. We have prawn chips too, but we don't talk about the prawn chips. You know, prawn crackers you get from the Chinese place? We've got prawn chips. It's an actual bag of flavored prawn crackers. You can buy it. You can buy it at a store. You shouldn't buy it at a store.
This is definitely a podcast, by the way. We're just going over stuff.
Yeah, Tutt forgot to put the big title somewhere. It's nowhere now.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't worry.
When you ask if it's a Q&A or a podcast,
really
though,
well.
if you ask questions, I'll answer the questions during. But aside from that, go do you, man. That's fine. Whatever.
All right. So without further ado, I think we should definitely move on to this personality test. I'm gonna send you the link.
Oh man, I was really looking forward to all that ado that you just said, but now without further ado, well, what's the point then, huh? Yeah. God damn it.
So have you like experienced or seen like the tests where they get like a bunch of letters from it?
Yeah. No, I've taken one of these things before though.
Well, maybe we should do it again.
You know, I don't know if I like your tone.
Well, listen, this is what we're gonna do. And if we have enough time, I have a second test for us to do, and that one's more of a shits and giggles kind of one, so... Dev has the bubonic plague, by the way. He's dying. You are totally dying. Alright.
Hey, I wasn't muted. I was just quiet. There was nothing going on there.
He was dying.
I was not dying. You crazy.
You totally were dying.
Yeah. Alright.
Alright.
So, test.
Do you get it pulled up?
I do have it pulled up, yes. Free personality test.
Alright. So, do you want to take turns reading out loud the questions?
Reading aloud. Oh man, this is gonna get so personal. Oof.
Yeah. This is simply thrilling, by the way, for
Oh
our
man,
listeners.
it's so interesting. Us taking a personality test? Wow, I'm already thrilled. Goddamn.
Alright.
I feel like we can talk about stuff while taking the test. I have no, like, it's just
Absolutely. Like, if a conflict arises or like a discussion arises, then we'll definitely talk about it.
Isn't this a discussion? Isn't this one? Or is this not good enough for you?
Well, I mean, like, if we find a discussion within a question, then we can definitely talk about it.
Oof. I do like talking about that. Oh, hey, it's Waldorf. Hey, Waldorf. How you doing, man?
What's up, Waldorf?
Hey.
Alright. You ready?
Well, I've already started the test. I'm good at this. Bam.
Oh my gosh. You find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people. Absolutely.
Yeah, I figure you would, you nerd.
Yeah, I'm such a nerd.
Yeah.
You often get so lost in thoughts that you ignore and forget your surroundings. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do that, but I can introduce myself to people no problem because I'm not lame like you.
Oh, fuck you. Listen,
a tomato is a fruit, and it's the worst fruit. I don't care what Ginger Pale says.
Wait, did Ginger Pale say that?
Ginger Pale made a video that was literally called "What's the best fruit?" It's a tomato. It's not a tomato. Tomatoes suck ass.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really watch Ginger Pale as much. I don't watch a lot of animation YouTubers.
You should watch Ginger Pale. Everybody here, you should all watch Ginger Pale because his videos make me chuckle and smile. I'm not really...
I've seen some of his videos and I really like him.
I'm not really good friends with Ginger Pale. I just think he's great.
Also Zelinky.
Real... Why you hate talking to real people, man? Real people are great.
It depends on the real person.
Toothbrush got unsubscribed to me because because tomato is a fruit and it sucks. I hate tomato, alright? Tomato is the worst. I actually have a lot of problems with tomato because of acid reflux. Because dumb genetics make me sick.
Oh.
So
that's why you hate tomato.
I hate them, and I
I'm
also...
going to feed you spaghetti.
Don't you dare! I hate spaghetti. Why would I ever eat spaghetti? I don't feel like dying from heartburn. Buddy, take those tomatoes, throw them in the trench. I don't want them.
You find it easy to stay relaxed even when there is some pressure. I moderately disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
You gotta realize that, like, I've performed on stage. I've talked on stage in front of people. You know, it just takes some breathing exercises and trying to, like, make sure that they don't care as much as you think they do.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way it always is, though. No one really cares that much about these small things. But I mean, with pressure, I don't know. For me, I'm on a constant state of pressure all the time.
Yeah. I guess that's like, in social terms.
I don't mean social terms. I mean literally every single moment of every single day. To be relaxed causes me physical pain.
Actually, that's the same for me too.
Really?
Not gonna lie, especially like, yeah, I've got some stress.
Oh boy. For me, it's not stress. This is just how it's always been. From the moment I was born to like the moment that I have lived to this day, I have constantly been under this strange pressure where if I try to relax, I've listened to those stupid, dumb videos, been like, video make you relax with meditation. They're dumb, but they sometimes have really nice calming music, so I listen to them anyway. But
calming music does help.
Yeah,
it does.
I've done that, and when I have become relaxed on my bed, suddenly my shoulders hurt, my legs hurt, my feet hurt.
Oh my God.
There's just, suddenly I feel like this is the worst. Why did I ever decide to relax? Relaxing is for chumps. This is stupid.
Listen, it's called an ibuprofen. Oh my God. Take one.
Nah. Right. You don't take Panadol to be calm. Don't take drugs to be calm. That's a terrible idea.
No. I'm talking about, like, if you're hurting, like, if you get a headache, take an ibuprofen.
Oh,
that helps.
Alejandro. I like that name. But for when you're performing on a stage, I mean, unless you've proven yourself to be really good already, I'm assuming you probably have if you have that expectation. Because, well, look at it this way. If the audience is expecting something amazing, it means you're already pretty freaking cool and amazing. Because if you're not already cool and amazing, then they're not expecting anything from you.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean, it's different for you, Tutt, because you've already proven that you're not amazing at all.
I'm really not that good at anything.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's Maria. Right, you said that last time you were here, Maria. Poof. But yeah, no one expects anything from Tutt, so Tutt can go up on stage, and no matter what she does, it's gonna be better than last time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like flop and nothing.
Yeah, you'll flop, and everyone will start applauding you.
Like, I'll probably have like a major downfall, and everyone will laugh at me on stage as I do.
Yeah, I mean, I'd laugh at you. I'd laugh at you under other circumstances too.
Like if I graduated and you just started laughing at me. Just like, haha, you nerd. You read books. God.
I like Waldorf's idea of like relaxing and his idea of expectations. That's a really nice way to think of it. I like it very much.
Yeah.
If I ever pay $10 for pretty much almost anything, if I'm going to like, you're talking about musical and performance. Is that a musical performance on an actual theater stage or a musical performance held by like a school? Because if it's a school and I pay $10 to look at something in a school, I automatically assume that there's going to be some pretty awful stuff.
Well, yeah, that's like, mental contract.
Mainly it's because I always make the assumption that if you're in schooling, there's a 50-50 chance that some of you are just awful, and you're there just because some other friend said you should totally do it because you're good. And I mean, I think
that's the thing.
yeah,
Maria is good. So
there's always good people amongst the bad. But I gotta say, when you go to something for a school musical or anything related to a school, there's bound to be someone there that's only there because their friends said that they were good when they're not really that good. And I'm not trying to discourage that. I think it's good that people who aren't amazing do things in that scenario to builds up confidence, gives them a good taste of what it's like to be in that situation. And then maybe two things will happen. Either they'll think, man, I'm so terrible, I don't want to do this anymore. Or they'll think, I tried my best and I didn't succeed. I'm going to go for it again. I'm going to get better. And, I always appreciate when people do that, when people see that they didn't do great and then they do better next time. I love it when people do that.
Alright. You do not usually initiate conversations.
You maybe. I do.
I sorta agree, I guess. I'm like near neutral to that. You rarely do something out of sheer curiosity.
For a moment during that discussion, I forgot that we were right in the middle of like a personality test this whole time.
Oh my god.
That kind of stuff is gonna happen. You're not awful at anything, Maria. Come on. You gotta have that self-confidence. Because if you don't have that self-confidence, everyone will actually just start to look down on you. And you don't want that. Trust me, you really, really don't. It's a terrible moment. Especially if you do it without realizing it. Like, I was really confident in the idea of me being a strong kid. And then I got into a fight with another kid, and I started punching him, and he laughed at me. And I immediately was like, oh no. Oh.
It's kind of like an epiphany kind of thing.
He didn't even bother to try to fight back at me. He was just like, this is funny. I'm going to just walk away now. I felt really weak because...
Was it like a pity laugh?
Yeah, kind of. He like laughed because I was like, I was like angry at some stupid thing that he said, and I'm a kid, so I was rash and just decided I'm gonna fight him then. Let's get into a fight. And I punched him a bunch in the stomach, and he started laughing, and I was just like, oh. Oh, curiosity. No, the full saying of that was curiosity killed the cab, but satisfaction brought him back, which means like your curiousness is a risk, but if it pays off, it really does. If you're curious about something, it's worth looking into. Just try not to lose yourself, because that's how it gets bad.
Yeah. That's the point where, like, it starts getting shitty.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the part where you can become so curious that you end up accidentally ruining other people's experiences of things.
Yeah, and that's really bad.
Oh, yeah. You ever done that, though, before to someone?
Where I ruined somebody's experience through curiosity?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
You ever found a secret that you... Well, let's not get into that.
Well, I have spoiled a lot.
I mean, when it comes to spoiling stuff, you spoil stuff doing normal things anyway, so it's not really that out there, really.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny, because, okay, a little story. During this year, you know how Stranger Things 2 came out, like, in Halloween last year?
Yeah.
What I did was I went up to my algebra class and wrote, on the whiteboard, like, 11 dies in Stranger Things 2. What? And 11 is, like, one of the most beloved characters, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. What the heck?
It was
man?
A fake spoiler.
Yeah,
Everybody's fucking yelling at me.
That's so rude. Oh my god.
I know. But it was fake. So, like...
It's okay, Toothbrush. It's alright. We've still got a fair amount to talk about. I'm thinking... Just a thought here, Tutt. Let's not do the personality test.
Oh, aww.
I feel to me it's something that should have been done beforehand.
Yeah.
I still say we can do it, but we can talk about it either next time or when we finished it completely.
Alright.
Because realize, like, I've been doing it. I was like trying to speed past it while we're talking. I'm like, oof.
Well,
not
the
even
idea
halfway
was
through
that,
there.
like, we talked about like questions on there and like discuss it. And
then... yeah, but the questions on there, I don't feel they have much room for discussion. They're mostly closed questions, the kind that you can answer within their like dialect. There, like either agree, disagree. Where are you on that spectrum?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
conversation with very specific ones aren't really that great. It comes to like the really big ones at the very end, but that's like up to 12 to 30 minutes in if you're
Mhm.
going slow or fast. And if you're reading every question, it ends up getting kind of slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
think let's do it beforehand and like just remember the
Understandable.
ones that are worth talking about.
All right.
Yeah,
Sounds good. Okay.
yeah.
Well, in the meantime, let's talk about our preferences in books, TV shows, movies, etc.
Popular
And in fact,
culture. Oh yes.
you have a few books with you, don't you?
I do.
So,
I happen to enjoy reading very much, and I have. I once actually I showed you the pile of books that I have from every book is actually higher than my desk.
yes.
I like that about
And,
having a large amount of books like that. It's good. No,
and you know
Waldorf,
what I
don't
like more than
shake
my
my head, my head.
Lamborghini? Knowledge.
Oh no. All right, so right now I've got like a few of the books. Most of the ones here that I haven't actually. There's a couple that I haven't read. My favorite genre. Ah.
Isn't it nonfiction?
Well, yeah, I like fiction books. I'm not a big fan of nonfiction. When it comes to nonfiction, it's more about the research to me. Like I'll read nonfiction, I'll read
Mm.
memoirs, and if it's either comical or has a lot of things that I'm willing to understand and learn about, like I like physics, I like chemistry, I like reading books about those things and about
Mm.
different topics on that. When it comes to nonfiction, it's always either got to be comedy or information. Otherwise, I really don't see much point to reading it. Uh, for me, it's mostly fiction.
With
I
me,
I like fantasy quite a lot. Hey Rose. I'm a big fan of fantasy, but there's also an aspect of realism that I like in some books where it just tries to appeal to my sense of reality.
usually
Of
I
course you do, Walter.
like to read. I usually like to read realistic fiction, where
Realistic
it
fiction.
has. Yeah, it's basically a specific genre where it's like a regular life, and
Yeah.
it's realistic, but it's a story that never really happened.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. I like that kind of stuff too. One of my favorite books is actually quite like that, although it's more dramatic than that, I would say.
more dramatic.
Yeah, I've got the book here with me. It's one of my favorite books. My brother got it a long time ago, and like most things that my brother has given to me as a hand-me-down, I love it, and I think it's wonderful. My favorite shirt is a hand-me-down from my brother. Uh,
That's awesome.
yeah. This book is called Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer, and it's great. I'll give you a quick in-depth knowledge. It's about a guy named, a kid named Oscar Schell, and his name is spelled strangely. I'm not really sure what kind of person it is. And Oscar Schell is like, it's a bit hard to follow in the book, but he's around 10 to 15. He's very young. He's a young child, but he's very mature in his aspect. Even though he's still childlike, still acts like a child, they still have made him somewhat mature. And the reasoning behind this is that the story is entirely about how Oscar Schell comes to terms with the fact that his father had died in 9/11.
Huh.
And that sounds super morbid when I say it like that, but it's
That-
actually
That is really more.
yeah, it's actually a very interesting and enjoyable story, and it has probably the most likable characters I've ever read about in a book before. Honestly, they're absolutely fantastic. Oscar Schell is the most likable child character I've ever read about ever. He's so nice and so wonderful, and all the characters he interacts with. And there's a man who I believe was his grandfather. That the story is half about Oscar and half about his grandfather and all of their lives mixed together. And it's just a wonderful story. And there's aspects of family and there's aspects of just mystery and I don't know. I really like it. It's a really good book, and I've read it over and over and over again. It's one of the only books that I actually have reread, because a thing that I don't
Really?
like to do, especially with TV shows and everything, I don't like to watch it more than once because it feels like I already know everything that's going to happen. It's all recorded down in my head. I remember every single aspect of it, so there's no point in just going over it again, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't like rereading books. I don't like rewatching shows. But if it's really good and I don't mind that I'll remember everything, then I'll still watch it, and there'll be some surprises. I don't remember every single thing about some things when they're long drawn out stuff. But there's something about the way that this book is written that just makes me want to read it over and over again.
Sounds like a really nice book, actually, though.
It is. I say it's worth picking up.
Check it out.
Yeah. Don't watch the movie. The movie takes all the metaphors and literally just destroys them. It just... Every metaphor has been taken either super literally or just ridiculous. Like, okay, I'll give the example here. Throughout the book, there are two things that Oscar Schell does to himself on a mental note. These are mental things. For one, whenever he feels sad or he feels like weighed down by depression or like whatever it is there, he always says, "It gives me heavy boots." And that's a good metaphor. I love that metaphor. It's one of the favorite metaphors I've ever heard. Is when he gets sad, when he feels that he can't move forward, he says he has heavy boots, and I think that's a really smart way to put it into aspect. The movie brought no attention to heavy boots, from what I remember. There was no knowledge there ever, and I was really disappointed with that because when he says, "Oh, it gave me heavy boots," because he was sad about something or because he didn't get the things that he wanted in a really dire situation. I thought that was really good. But another thing that bothered me was in the story, the oftentimes when he mentally attacks himself, he says, "I gave myself a bruise." He doesn't physically give himself bruises. He just remembers the things that he's done that were stupid or bad, and he puts himself down because of that, and that's how he says he gives himself bruises. Yeah. It got me so angry though. In the movie, he literally crawled into a vent and pinched himself until there were bruises. It completely destroyed the metaphor and ruined it. It was so angering. I was actually like kind of enjoying their aspect of the movie, and then out of nowhere he crawls into a goddamn vent and just starts tearing into his skin with pinches, and it's ridiculous. Oh, who does that?
That's grotesque. That's gross.
That's weird, man. The movie just took really this mental metaphor and was like, let's just throw it out the goddamn window. Why? Why?
Oh, so gross.
God damn. And that's why I don't like the movie adaptation. It's not good. Plus, there's a moment where the father shrugs in a special way that he shrugs that shows Oscar that it's like he has no idea what you're talking about, but he's hiding something in a mystery that Oscar has to solve. But the way he shrugged looks so ridiculous. Like he put his arms up and then just twisted his neck all over the place. Like, why?
What? Oh, gross.
Thanks, Rose. It was just weird. I don't know, man. It's a movie adaptation.
That sounds gross. All right.
It's pretty gross.
Ever heard of the book Tuck Everlasting?
Took like Took or?
No, Tuck. Tuck.
Tuck.
It's a last name.
No, I haven't heard of that. So it's Took.
We were supposed to read it. It's Tuck. Tuck.
Yeah.
With like a UH.
But H?
Like the sound
Oh. Okay, now I get it. It took me a second.
Oh my God.
Go on.
Tuck Everlasting was a book that we had to read. Like, we were forced to read in the 6th grade. I don't know about other people. But, it had a film adaptation, and I remember it being really boring, like the movie was.
Wait, boring?
But, yeah, it was really boring compared to the book, which was a real shocker.
I think, just quickly, what do you think is worse, a bad movie or a boring movie?
I think a boring movie is a lot worse.
You think
because at least there is something to, with a boring movie, there's not much going on. You get lost in it because you're thinking about other things and you're looking at other things and not paying attention to the story. You're trying to entertain yourself while, watching a boring movie, which is kind of dumb.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be the minority speaker here, because I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, boring movie is worse," because a boring movie you just get stuck in it, but a bad movie, like, you can make fun of it. I think you can only really make fun of bad movies with friends. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So when I watch a
Or you
bad
can go
movie,
ahead in your head, I
yeah,
guess.
there's bad as in like bad funny, and then there's bad as in it's just a bad movie. The acting's bad, the way they say stuff is bad, the ideas. Okay, when a story's plot diverges in a way that doesn't make sense to me, I get so mad. Really, there's no reasoning behind me being mad about it. I just lose it for some reason, and I get really angry, and I stop the movie, and I close it down. And I'm just like, I don't want to watch this movie anymore. Take it out of the player, throw it against the wall. I don't want to watch that anymore.
Oh my
But
god.
if it's a boring movie, I will sometimes just pick up tiny aspects and try to follow it along, and start to make my own story in the background of it, and I can get into that. But
Yeah, but in the
bad
midst
movies.
of watching a movie that you're supposed to be paying attention to its story, you're making up your own story to entertain yourself.
Okay, that's fair, but I'm not. I don't get angry at a boring movie, but I get angry at a bad movie. And also, Flubber is
Really.
great. Love Flubber.
I haven't seen Flubber in a
You
long
should watch
time.
Flubber. It's pretty fun.
I think I
He's-
watched it last when I was like 5.
Oh wow. I I
So that's
I re
nearly
I
13
rewatched
years
it
ago.
actually just a couple months ago, I think.
Nice.
But
I
when
need
it
to
got
watch
like
it.
bad movie versus just
No, here's the
boring
thing.
movie.
When you encounter a movie that's both bad and boring,
Well,
you better get out of the fucking movie theater. Like,
okay, I can agree with that. Watching both at the same time is absolutely awful.
that's overkill.
I'm just looking for an example of when I've watched a bad movie versus when I've watched a boring movie, because there's good bad,
A
and
bad movie.
a good bad movie
Fucking
was
the
like
Emoji Movie.
I don't know. I'm never gonna watch that. That just makes me angry. I've seen people send like clips of it as like a joke stuff, and I watch the clip and I hear the tiny things about it, and I'm just like, this is so bad. I don't want to ever watch
I
this.
think,
And I saw, Steven watched it. Well, like Mr. Prime watched it, that kind of stuff. But I can't
yeah.
imagine what went through his head that made him think, yeah, I'm gonna watch this movie because it's bad.
Okay, so here's the thing. When you know that the movie is going to be bad, I get it. Sometimes you want to give the movie a chance. Kind of like, in 2014, the Lego movie, everyone thought it was going to be a terrible movie.
Well,
But
on that chance, it was
came
a
out to be like one of the best movies in 2014. Anyhow, I wanted to give it a chance. I wanted to be like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as we're thinking, kind of thing.
Hmm.
And the trailers started to come out, and I'm like, oh, this is disheartening, but I still have a little bit of faith in it.
The difference here that I find between like Lego Movie and the Emoji Movie is that Lego was actually something that a lot of people loved, even as they're older. They love Lego. I think Lego is great. I personally don't do anything with it because I think what's the point of making something just so that you can't touch it or it'll break? That's stupid to me.
Right.
But I know that people love that. I personally don't. I know other people do, and I respect that. I mean, if you want to make something you're proud of, go for it. More power to you. I've seen my friends make some pretty incredible stuff with Lego. I wouldn't have the patience or the time for it personally. I don't have the room for it. I'm a mess. If I put it in my room, there's a 100% chance I'm going to just destroy it at some point, walking back and forth around the place. But
Yeah.
the difference between that is like when people say, oh, there's a Lego movie, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with Lego. There's not a whole lot of cool stuff you can do with emojis. A lot of people think that emojis are just stupid in general, like just naturally.
Yeah.
Not a huge amount of people think Lego is stupid.
Well, here's the thing. Ever heard of Brain Dump by chance?
Brain dump.
Yes.
No.
It's a YouTube show by Hot Diggity Demon.
No. I'm,
Anyhow, he brought a really good, discussion or argument between, the Lego movie and the Emoji movie, saying like there's a reason why the Lego movie did a lot better than the Emoji movie, and it's because of technology fatigue.
technology.
And basically, yeah, like when you are forced into like these ads and like these apps and like kind of praising it as though it was a beloved thing, it kind of tires you out, I guess, because it's everywhere, all around you, kind of thing. So I don't know. He explained it a lot better than I did, but
Well, I get the gist of what you're saying. Like people get tired of using technology. They get tired of things like Emoji Movie, that kind of stuff. They'll get tired
yeah.
of the idea of it before they even get to it. But Lego's been such a thing. Like Al Overlord over there, I don't know their real name. I know that they know you. They said Legos are a childhood though, and yeah, most of the people in these days, most people, even older, like way older people, they grew up with Legos there. That was the toy to have fun with.
Yeah.
So everyone, when they saw a Lego movie, they're like, oh, that's kind of a weird idea, but I'll give it a shot. And giving it a shot was probably the best decision to do there because it ended up really good. But the Emoji Movie, nobody wanted to give it a shot because they're already sick of technology. They're sick of emojis. They're sick of people deciding that this kind of movie would be a good idea. So it was just bad.
The
Also,
thing is,
Waldorf has brought up The Seventh Son, apparently a really good book. Haven't heard of it either, although I feel like it's somewhat familiar to me.
I think this is a book, and it's also a movie. Ever heard of Dune?
I've heard of Dune,
Like
yeah.
Dune.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's supposed to be like this horror thing.
Yeah.
And I've heard of the book, and I think that we should definitely read it and discuss it later in a podcast.
Why that in particular?
it'd be nice.
I've heard of it, but I haven't heard much on it.
Because I've heard. Okay, so basically, it's this horror sci-fi thing where these people from Earth, I can assume, like start harvesting this planet that is made out of sand and everything is desert. And like it has this very specific element that is very rare to get, but it's supposed to be really powerful.
Powerful.
But the thing is, yeah, like energy wise, I guess. But these people that go to the planet and figure out that there's like this really dangerous alien, and I think they get stranded there. But yeah,
I mean, it's an
it's
interesting
like
concept, but when you say powerful, the only like I don't know what you mean by powerful because books can be powerful in different ways. Like I've read some of R.A. Salvatore's work, and his was powerful in the idea of how he was so truthful to a story that was made by someone else because he was truthful to a Dungeons and Dragons universe. That's what he did. And it ended up being
well,
powerful because of that. And then there's like things like Fahrenheit 451, which were powerful in the entire concept and the writing that was made there. But I don't know what you mean when you say
the
powerful.
element itself, like the mineral that they're getting, is like supposed to be like this huge energy resource. I guess that's what I mean by powerful.
That's what you mean. Okay, so not actually the story itself, but the ideas inside.
The story is actually like supposed to be like like a classic of some sort, because a lot of people know it.
Really?
So I don't know. Yeah, like there's a lot of people that really like this book and movie.
All right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would say that knowing what you're saying about it, yeah, it's worth reading. I've got a lot of books to read though. Like right now, I've got a pile of books that I haven't read that I'm going through slowly. I've got Lies of Locke Lamora, which, by the way, I mean, if you want to find something that's more realistic fantasy, Lies of Locke Lamora is pretty good. There's not a whole lot of ideas in fantasy. It's more about just the fantasy world. This one, if you're feeling like getting French, apparently, as the person who sold it to me said, Promise of Blood by Brian McKellen is apparently very good at that. Haven't started. I've started Lies of Locke Lamora, but I haven't started Promise of Blood yet. And one that apparently
Wait,
for comedy...
so
Go ahead.
the person that gave you that book said if you wanted to feel more French.
No, okay. It's about I don't know. There's French history aspects in here, along with like American history as well.
I'm thinking of like, never mind.
No, it's like a merging of history and magic in the same kind of book in a really dark sense by the looks of it. Let me just read the blurb here for a moment. It's a bloody business. Overthrowing a king is the first thing. So I'm thinking, yeah, it's probably a bit darker. But, you know, if you're thinking of mythology reads, just read the actual mythologies. Like, read the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Right.
I love the Epic of Gilgamesh, and I think everyone should read it once because it's great. I love it. So if you're looking for mythology reads, literally just read the mythos.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good idea. You can get like the entire box set of all of these different mythological stories. You can get the entire box set for like $10, man. Probably not. That's probably not true. Don't quote me on that. But it's worth getting if you feel like reading mythology. I read the Epic of Gilgamesh. It was the only one I read in that story. But so good.
Analyze my plot like one of your French books.
Yeah.
That's the rose quotes.
You had to bring that up, didn't you? That's you had to bring attention to the fact that she said that.
I wanted that.
I love you so much,
embedded
Rose.
in history.
Rose, I love you so much. Another book that I have that I still need to read was for comedy. There's here, The Black Griffin by Mercedes Lackey and also Larry Dixon, working together here. It's apparently a series of Mage Wars. He said that it gets funnier. I'm not at a point where it's funny. So far, it's mostly just seriousness. But apparently it gets way funnier and the character becomes cocky and stupid. So I'm looking forward to that.
Do you want to like read a little slice of life fiction? I guess.
Slice of life fiction seems really boring to me.
Well, there's this little thing called. Okay. There's this book by Ned Vizzini, I think it's called.
Ned Vizzini. What a name.
It's been adapted into a musical, and you probably know what I'm gonna say. It's probably
I'm pretty sure
one
I know
of
what you're
my
gonna say.
favorite like realistic fiction books.
Realistic
Guess what
fiction.
It is. Yes.
Just say it. Just do it.
I can tell you, it's not Dear Evan Hansen.
What a surprise!
It's not.
Not
right?
Dear Evan Hansen. Wow, that's crazy.
Ooh, but it's called Be More Chill. There it is. Yep.
I get him, man. Maria said it in chat as well.
Yep, Maria.
But why though? Man, I don't like Be More Chill. Be More Chill.
It's good. Like, the book is good. It's a lot different than the musical.
Well, that's an interesting thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, the tone is completely different. You know how the musical is, like, really cheery and, you know, fast-paced?
Mostly.
Be More Chill is a lot, like, more depressed.
Really?
And dank.
He's depressed about not being popular, and then even more depressed about abandoning his only friend.
Also, he's kind of...
He's always been.
Like,
come on, we both knew the whole time. Even you can tell from the musical alone that he's an asshole. It's the same with Evan Hansen.
Jeremy?
They're both yes.
Are you talking about Evan Hansen?
I'm talking about
Jeremy?
Both.
Here.
They're in both musicals. The main character, you can tell from watching the musical that they're both assholes individually in their own stories.
Well, the thing is, you know how the Squip is supposed to be like the bad guy, right? In the musical.
Yeah.
Well, he's technically the good guy in the book, and
how does
he
that
kills
work?
himself.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah. So you know Red Mountain Dew?
Mountain Dew Code Red.
Or Code Red Mountain Dew.
Yeah. No, we don't have that here.
Well, basically what happens is that the Squip tells Jeremy in the book. By the way, spoilers. That is
watch it, man. Watch it. These spoilers. Oh no.
Well, like, he tells Jeremy, like, by the way, I'm gonna write this whole book for you, so that you can give it to your crush. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna drink Code Red Mountain Dew because I am a faulty Squip, and I am only going to screw your life even more up. Shit like that.
He's a faulty
and
one.
He's like, yeah. And he's like, hey, you're gonna have to chug it down once we're done writing this book.
Oh boy.
And, yeah.
That's...
So the Squip kills himself.
That's... Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And it's really sad because he was the only good character.
Man, what a feel-good book.
I know. No, but I really like the book. The book, at least. The play adaptation. Oh god. It was terrible. He kept on jumping on tables.
Oh man.
The squib at least did. The
You know,
musical.
I enjoyed.
Jack.
I'll tell you, I enjoyed seeing little bits of Dear Evan Hansen the musical, simply because the way that the main guy sings. Whenever I see him sing, the way his throat looks just makes me laugh. Because the whole thing with him is that he's supposed to make his character look small by like hunching over and stuff like that. And then when he hunches over, he has to sing, and the only way to make himself project properly is by like extending his neck out. And I can't. Every time I see it, it's the best thing ever. And once I saw like one of those things where they brought him in because it was so popular, and he started singing, and I saw a giant saliva glob just spit right out of his face onto the ground, and no one paid attention to it. And I just sat there, and I'm like, how can I focus on the musical when that shit just happens? Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. God damn, man.
Okay. If you were to watch one musical, just one, completely alive, what would it be?
Well, Alexander Hamilton.
Alexander. So you would watch Hamilton.
Yeah.
The most generic one.
Yeah. It's generic for a reason. People like it. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good one. It was still one that really got me into listening to musicals.
Here's a conversation I want to have right now. The idea of liking things generic means that that's somehow wrong. I think that is absolutely ridiculous, because things are only generic because a lot of people like them. And I am part of the big group of people in the world, so obviously I'm going to like something if a lot of other people liked it too. Like, I enjoy Naruto. I enjoy One Piece. I like Bleach. These are things that a lot of other people like. How is that weeby? Those are the ones that people who don't even like anime still end up eventually watching if they're trying to get into it. That is so not weeby. Go fuck yourself. Oh my god.
I'm giving you a hard time for a reason, man.
Yeah, I know. It's because I'm better than you and you want to try and bring me down. It's not going to happen.
How dare you? You know what? No, I'm just gonna agree because you're right.
Oh no, come on, Tutt. There's no fun in agreeing. You gotta fight me on this. You gotta fight me. Come on, man.
No, I'm okay now.
Oof.
Little do you know, Dev, that I hate myself.
You should try loving yourself instead. It's pretty great.
Ugh. I'm learning. But, so you would watch Hamilton?
Oh, I would definitely watch Hamilton.
Have you listened to the soundtrack?
Yeah. I've listened to it multiple times. I enjoy it, alright? A lot of people enjoy it, and I think I've listened to it. I haven't seen the play. I'd like to see the play. Specifically, with Manuel. I don't remember the entire name of him. Lin-Manuel, yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes. Preferably with him in the one of it. I like his voice a lot more than I like. It's more memorable to me than the other person who did it in different places.
Than Ben Platt?
Yes. Where people's names, man. I can remember some authors, but when it comes to people with like directors, I can't remember some names because I just don't care enough. I just don't.
Aww.
There are some.
That's sad.
I watch movies, and I purposely watch movies that I will never want to see again. And if you never want to see a movie again, you're never gonna look. I make it my purpose to oftentimes avoid the credits, both at the beginning and the end of any movie.
Really?
Yeah, I dislike, cause, man.
I thought that was everybody else in the fucking world.
No. That's not true. Some people will actually look. Well, people memorize this stuff. How do you remember director? You either look it up or you're watching the credits.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't memorize. I don't even look. I look away, because you can avoid the credits at the end, and a lot of people get up and walk out, and that's fine. But you can't avoid the credits at the start, at the beginning, like directed by, made by, doing this kind of stuff. For most of those times, there's times when a movie will start and I'll see like a logo or something, and I'll close my eyes and wait for the logos to all be over, and wait for all the credits to be over. And when I hear someone's voice, I go, "Oh, time to open my eyes and watch now." Which is not always the best. There's movies that start with a lot of visual stuff and nobody talks for a long time, and then I realize maybe I should open my eyes. I'm bad at this, all right? Movies are lame. Books are good.
All right. Let's move on to TV shows right quick. We got a little bit of time left.
Yeah.
What have we been watching lately?
What have we been watching? I've been I got a TV show that I really like. I've been rewatching a show called The Mentalist with Rose.
Oh shit.
I think
actually really cool.
The Mentalist is fantastic. I love The Mentalist so much.
Was it really that good?
I personally think so.
Because I think I've heard of it.
Oh, you should watch it. It's great. I like the main protagonist is Australian. I'm happy about that.
Is the actor Australian or
the actor's Australian? He does his all North American accent, and he does that throughout the thing. But there's moments in the show where it stops at the end and says, "Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode." And I'm really like, the Australian accent. He's yes, yeah, Australia, the country that is the best. Yeah, Australia.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Your country is pretty fucking cool. I wish I could move there.
Yeah, everybody complains about all the creatures wanting to kill us, but I've never once come into contact with a creature that has wanted to kill me aside from my dog.
Aww.
Story there. I once saw my dog sleeping under the table when I was quite young. I went under the table to pat her. She thought I was the cat, so immediately she snapped my face. Oh boy. Also, Al Overlord, you're missing out on games. Oh no, Waldorf.
Oh no!
Yeah. Dude.
I'll get you another one.
Give me a sec.
With the money that I don't have.
Motherboards are expensive, man. But, yeah, The Mentalist. If you want to pick it up, watch it. It's great. I love The Mentalist. I cannot stress that enough. It's so good. But I haven't been watching many of the new ones, but I did watch Blacklist on Netflix.
Nice.
It's good. I like Raymond Reddington.
One more show though.
Yep.
One more show.
One more show. What are you gonna say?
Guess what that show is?
Oh, I know.
Final Space. Dude, this is
goes.
such a good fucking show.
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually know anything about Final Space until you had actually told me, "Oh yeah, look at this, it's Final Space."
Really? I've been waiting for it ever since I saw the trailer coming out.
Oh no.
I
had no idea it even existed, man.
I love it.
I had no idea. To me it was entirely new stuff. I had no idea it was even a thing.
Yeah, I was
Caleb.
really excited. Like, I saw. Oh, hi, Caleb. Yeah, he goes to my school.
Nice.
I told you I told people.
You did.
But,
I don't know how you would. I don't know how or why you would do such a thing, but okay.
Listen, my friends are cool people, okay? Fuck you.
Yeah, but I'd never tell people that I know. Well, to be fair, I'm also not in school anymore, so I'm not. Yeah. You'd never see me talking to my coworkers like, "Oh, hey, watch me stream."
Go talk to your coworkers about our stream.
I'm not gonna tell my coworkers about the stream. It's not happening. I'm not doing it.
Tell the other kids at the college to be like, "Hey."
You realize my interactions with most of the students there are pretty short-lived. Like, okay. I'm pretty sure I inform them on what they're supposed to do. That's what I do there. That's not my job, but that's what I do there.
Yeah, Al Overlord is one of my friends too. So
nice. But yeah. Final Space is so good, man. I don't want to do any spoilers though. Like that's the thing with new shows.
Yeah, no.
Spoilers are a difficult thing to bring up.
If you guys want to watch Final Space, I will suggest Kim Cartoon. Although we are not sponsored yet, this is our first episode.
It's episode 0.
Yeah, Yeah, it's still our first.
I shut up.
But yeah, it's a really good show that you guys should definitely check out whenever you get the time. It's made by somebody who is a YouTuber actually by the
Yeah.
name of Olin Rogers, and he's fucking awesome. So yeah, Final Space is definitely you should watch.
Nice.
And it
Waldorf.
made me cry.
I did not cry. It's hard to make me cry with stories. There's a very small number of things that I've watched that have actually made me cry. One of which was actually a documentary that my friend sent me, which that was tears of pure sadness. I was so sad. I couldn't actually hear the last 10 minutes of the documentary because I was just bawling my eyes out. I was so goddamn sad, man.
Oh my god.
It's like a heart-wrenching thing there. That was like a story of a guy who was a wonderful person. He became a nurse, and he got horrible. He there was a terrible thing that happened. The girlfriend that he had, who ended up being like this crazy person, and killed him and took their child. And it was a big thing where the parents of the guy were trying to get the kid back, and it ended just so sad. And I don't want to say anything because it's worth watching. It's a good documentary. I'd tell you the name of it, but I've forgotten the name completely. I'll find it and I'll tell you next time, but not this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Hey,
Hi, Robert.
Robert.
That's one of my moderators. Tutt wanted to do streaming, so I am the platform that we will stream on because her internet sucks ass.
Yeah.
That is the entirety of it.
Basically.
Mhm. Sorry that you've missed your chance here to completely ruin it as you do. The best. Robert is the best. You've missed your chance to be the bully of the chat and put me down here, Robert. Because we have been streaming this for about an hour now, and we had set aside before that we'd probably only go for an hour with these.
Yeah.
So probably gonna have to wrap it up here.
All right. With that, oh my god, I kind of liked that. That was fun.
I enjoyed this actually very much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys for listening, and this was JelloCast.
JelloCast.
With Dev and Tutt, and yeah, JelloCast. That's what we're calling it.
Oh boy.
But yeah.
I like gelatin.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.
I don't know how to end these things. Like, should we just be like?
Well, I do end it with like news and stuff. That's kind of something. Okay. He hasn't missed his opportunity. Motherfucker just said I'm not a real bear. Well, guess what? You're right. No, there isn't. Snow isn't in Australia. So I looked at it.
Well, there's definitely no polar bears in Australia.
Oh, no way. I mean, I've quite enjoyed this, and I think it's relatively enjoyable to hear. I mean, people stayed and watched, but that was like Waldorf and Rose. They stay out of habit. So we'll probably be doing this again at the same time next week. Yeah?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
And we might have a guest. We'll probably try to find one.
I mean, there's no shortage of guests here. We have a lot of people we can add. I'll name a few of them now. Rose and Pink. There you go, a few of them.
Yeah.
No, but pretty much almost most of the people that come up in chat probably eventually could be, because we're not big. We're small. We're very small. I'd probably bring Waldorf in. He has a lot of interesting things to say. I'd bring Robert in, but he'll find where I live and kill me. No, I haven't talked to Robert actually in VC in a long time, so I might actually ask him. What do you think of that, Robert?
All right.
All
right. Thank you guys so much for watching again and listening, I guess, technically.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you next week.
Hopefully.
On the next episode of JelloCast.
Yay. Oh, Robert said yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Hell yeah.